What is this very heavy, solid metal vessel with a drainage hole at the bottom? I bought this in an antique shop in Cochabamba, Bolivia, about 20 years ago. They had several of them. The well inside goes nearly to the bottom. The greening and a few fleck-sized shiny copper-colored scratches make me wonder if it could be made of copper. I guess it was used in smelting or candle making. Any idea what it could be for? It's a Spanish colonial-era signal cannon, sometimes called a thunder mug. Short, flat-bottomed cannons like this were used as signal mortars and also used as powder testers and firing salutes. It's an early form of firearm and possibly the oldest type of portable firearm, as well as the simplest type of early firearm, as most examples require direct manual external ignition through a touch hole without any form of firing mechanism. It may also be considered a forerunner of the handgun. What is this 6-inch long 5-pound lead weight in the shape of a duck's head with a metal attachment? Probably from the 1940s or earlier, and belonged to my partner's father in New England. There was originally a set of 4 of these weights. They are stamped with his name, and the base of the weights originally had felt on them. My partner's dad died a long time ago, and the family can only remember them being called duck weights, probably due to their shape. Google hasn't been much help, and Google Lens didn't bring up anything either. What is this thing? It's a spline weight. They are commonly referred to in the drafting world as lofting ducks or whales. They are used to hold the drafting spline in place as it forms one of the many curves necessary to draw the lines of a shapely boat. Spline weights can also be used when lofting the plans full-sized onto the floor of your shop. What is this thing I found at Goodwill? It's all plastic construction except for a metal shaft in the center. There is a mirror inside that divides the box in half at a 45-degree angle, so that when looking into the transparent side window, you can see the back of the front frosted screen. The top box separates from the bottom base and can swivel 360 degrees. The front screen is frosted translucent and can be removed with thumb screws. There are no lighting components of any kind, no wires of any kind, and no power source locations. Just a box with 2 windows and a mirror inside. It says patent pending on the underside of the base and a made in Taiwan sticker. What is it, and what was it used for? It's a 1970s video cine converter, made in Taiwan by BP Electronics Incorporated. With the ability to convert 35mm analog format film to NTSC signal format, this unit was used for transferring old movies and slides to digital format. They could be projected into the clear aperture and viewed on the frosted screen. What is this unusual bunny-topped heavy metal object I found in a second-hand store? There are no markings visible, nothing underneath, and nothing moves at all. It's very sealed all over. It's clearly old, and I assume someone added the paint more recently. It stands about 15 centimeters tall and weighs 650 grams, made of an unknown metal but possibly iron. I am stumped. Google Lens has been no help, sadly. Any ideas? It's a 1970s twine holder, and you thread the yarn through the loop to continue pulling as needed. Yours does look like it's been painted over. The cylinder part should move, and it quite often comes with scissors. I have one with a bird on top. What is this very heavy sight with the inscription San Giorgio Sestri Ponente? I found it inside a heavy-duty wooden casing while clearing a basement here in Spain. Judging by the items it was found with, I would guess earlier than the 1950s. It's approximately 24 centimeters or 9.5 inches long and weighs at least 7 kilograms or 15 pounds. Any information would be greatly appreciated. It's a dial sight or a panoramic telescope of Italian origin, and produced by San Giorgio in the industrial town of Sestri Ponente, who is known for their World War II production of binoculars for the military. It was originally a German invention, but immediately adopted by most nations as it is the ideal solution to indirect fire, like shooting at something you can't actually see. It's one of the basics of modern artillery. What is this old rusty ring with a spike found embedded inside a piece of pre-cut firewood bought in western Washington state? My family and I discovered it years ago while at a vacation house up in the Puget Sound in western Washington state, US. It was found embedded inside a piece of pre-cut firewood that we cut it in half that was sold commercially. We kept this thing as a neat little find and brought it home, and it has sat as a decoration in our living room ever since. It went untouched for years until a remodel. About 5.5 inches long and heavy for its size. If anyone may recognize what this was used for, or possibly how old it may be, I would be very appreciative. That's a log dog, an iron spike used in transporting wood in logging areas. I'd guess by the shape this was somewhere around the 1930s. It's a bit of a miracle that it wasn't hit when the log was cut up. That's the kind of thing that will absolutely destroy a commercial logging saw. I have something similar I inherited from my mother who collected them. These would often be on the same table in antique stores and flea markets back in the day. What is this two-piece steel pin and handle possibly from World War II? Approximately 5 inches wide and no markings of any kind apparent. It was found in a box of World War II medals and military uniform buttons, so possibly dates from the 1930s to the 40s. Any ideas? It's a US Army and Marine Corps D-lock kit bag or duffel closure handle, issued from around 1910 into the 1930s. The bar would be slotted through the grommets in the neck of the kit bag and fitted to the handle, allowing the bag to be securely padlocked. They also double as strong carrying handles. Anybody know who this man is? We've had this ornament for years but never managed to identify the person. There are slight engravings on the back, but I don't know what it says. Any help would be greatly appreciated. It's a 1960s spelter bust of Sir Edward Elgar, my favorite English composer, in his late 40s at the peak of his powers. Many of his works are hauntingly beautiful. Funny that I was just listening to his own 1927 recording of Enigma yesterday. The V and H on the back could be for Victor Hayfron, the artist. What is this thing I found at an estate sale? Around 10.5 inches front to back, not including the handle, 7 inches side to side, 8.25 inches tall, and the weight is 18.75 pounds. There are rows of numbers from 1 to 9, and letters R and C on top. It looks very old, probably 50 to 60 years old, and no maker's mark that I could find. I thought it was an adding machine, but I noticed it didn't have a way to print, so it didn't seem like it could be one. What is this called and what was it used for? Please let us know down in the comments. Thanks for watching. Let's make life fun.